significant damage. Last week was rough on the two championship leaders in the Busch Series. Tonight, Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Busch look to get back on track at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. The SpongeBob SquarePants movie 300, live from the Lowe's Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina. Casey Mears, Robbie Gordon on the front row, 2 of 16 drivers racing tonight that will also race tomorrow night. Got a bunch.
Row 3, Blake Feast, 00, his second NASCAR Busch Series race ever. He's in some really fast company.
There's championship leader Martin Truex Jr. back in row number 5.
All right, and you know what? Jimmy Johnson hasn't run a NASCAR Busch Series race in 2.5 years. He's in tonight's race. Jimmy Johnson, Benny Parsons, you got me? I just talked to him a minute ago. Let's try. Jimmy Johnson, Benny Parsons, you got me?
VP.
So it took a cartoon to get you back to the Busch Series, huh?
Yeah, it did. Looking forward to having some fun tonight with this SpongeBob car. My couple guys are down there helping out with me. We're going to have some fun tonight. And the Busch guys put together a great race car for us. Hopefully we can go out and have some fun tonight. I'm looking forward to good things, buddy.
Is the car good enough to win?
I believe so. You know, it's a different format having a qualifier car and then leave it alone. So I don't have any experience with it. Of course I'm going to say it's capable of winning, though.
Well, give it your best shot. Go to it, man.
Appreciate it.
Jimmy Johnson going to start in 20th position, row number 10 tonight. We'll keep an eye on him throughout the night. Lap and a half from the start, and some final stories from pit road before the green. Matt, got to be some news on Greg Biffle, huh?
Greg Biffle qualified third, but Alan, during that qualifying run, he experienced a problem. The engine sputtered, the fuel pressure gauge bounced back and forth. So this afternoon, crew chief Brad Parrott swapped out the fuel pump and did a lot of investigation, but they didn't find anything out of the ordinary. So now they're starting this race at the back with their fingers crossed. But even though the weekend got off on the wrong foot, they're still confident they can score their season 6 victory. To Marty Snyder.
Matt, one man that may have a leg up on the competition is Joe Nemechek. He starts 6th, the winner last week at Kansas. Talked to him just before he got in the car. He said this car is every bit as good as it was last week. Even though it's not the same car, I have the same feeling inside the race car. They did not have a final practice in the Busch Series. Joe said yesterday in practice, this car was terrific. Dave?
Marty, a shadow of doubt was cast on Ashton Lewis' future when his dad decided to close the team shop at the end of this year. But the phone's been ringing for Ashton. I talked to him earlier today, and he said he's got one good option that he was pursuing from before, and he got one other good option this week. And Ashton told me both cars, either one he chose, if he gets the opportunity, would be very, very competitive. Alan, did you get that all?
You guys worked all afternoon on that,
yes,
didn't you?
And last night.
Yeah. We have a theme going here. 46 NASCAR Busch Series race here at Lowe's Motor Speedway, about to get underway. Been running here since the series was formed in 1982. Casey Mears, Robbie Gordon on the front row. The championship contenders, Martin Truex starts 9th. Kyle Busch starts 18th. Kyle won here the last time the series was on this racetrack back in May. Good crowd on a cool night, and the green flag is in the air. We're underway.
McMurray, the yellow car, 66 on the outside, going by Blake Feast. As I said, this 00 car, his second race ever. He's got to be nervous with all these great drivers all around him.
They definitely had a good qualifying lap. It's a matter of now getting into a pace and seeing how Blake is able to get that car underneath him and just ride.
And he can't go too slow because, trust me, these guys will run over him.
Oh, they'll lead him up, that's for sure.
Casey Mears leads lap 1. There's the race from third on back. Feast in that 00, the red and white car. And Kurt and Benny, these first couple laps after the cars being impounded, qualifying in very different weather conditions yesterday than the start of this race right now. Got to be a little nerve-wracking.
There's a bunch of unknowns. Each of the teams wanted to get the best baseline they could in race trim, and what they'll do is they'll throw on tape and then go do qualifying right at the last part of practice, and you don't know what you're going to get when you tape it up. So they really worked on race trim, and you're going to see some cars moving forward and some cars moving backward.
There's your championship leader, Martin Truex, in the 8th. He is running in 7th place, Dave.
And I asked Martin Truex that very question. What do you think of the impounding based on how you have to start your car? And he said, the only thing I don't like about it is exactly what you said, Kurt. I don't know what I've got. So far for Truex, he's been able to pass cars and stay on the bottom line. It looks like he likes it.
Blake is doing an awesome job in that high groove. Harvick's been taking his time getting around. You want to take your time at the beginning of a run when you have all these unknowns.
Oh, boy, that was close right behind him.
They're stacking up back there.
Black car there, Casey Kane in the 38, almost made it 3 wide under Mike Bliss in the 20.
Oh, and Bliss, I thought he was going to go up the racetrack and make contact with the car on the outside. The red and white car 20 is Mike Bliss. Oh, trouble!
Jason Keller.
Oh, I thought he had it saved, but he has made easy. Oh, he hits the wall with the left rear and left front.
Caution flags out. Oh, Ashton Lewis going around in turn 4. That was probably somebody didn't get the message. The yellow was out and slowed down quick enough.
Just spun out on our own there, Charlie.
Or maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. Spotter says, all by ourselves. Talking about Ashton Lewis, the 46 car.
Pretty good damage there to Keller's machine.
There it is.
This team announced this week they need a sponsor for next year.
And it, see him working on the car. Let's see if we can see what might have happened. Just all by himself. Jason Keller. Around he goes. So he will not be a fan of, but you know, he had damage to that left front before he spun.
Did he? I didn't get to see that. It was lap 4 of a run, and your tires are going from the good, sticky goodness to what your car is going to start to drive like. And he was on the outside.
He might have made contact with Mike McLaughlin in the 25, and there's a damage on the left front.
Definitely.
Kurt, why do these guys spin the tires at this racetrack on restarts? We see it all the time.
This racetrack is very slick, and the springs that we're running in the back of these cars are so stiff they don't provide for much forward bite, but it gives you good attitude through the corner when we're at speed. But we notice it all the time here in the Cup cars as well, and we have more horsepower than the Busch cars.
Casey Mears, the leader. Robbie Gordon is second. Jamie McMurray third. Joe Nemechek fourth. And Kevin Harvick is fifth. Races for third. Nemechek looking on McMurray.
That's Nemechek, the red and white 87. McMurray in 66.
He's in the 88 this week. They must have given the 87 number to Boston Reed for a run.
Yep. That's exactly it. They were already committed to run this race with the Hendrick development program. But Joe had such a great weekend last weekend. He wanted to keep that momentum up.
May as well bring it out again.
Here's Truex trying to get by in the 8, trying to get by McMurray in 66. A battle for the 5th position.
Not quite. It's one of the great things about this racetrack is you can find some place on the track to better suit your car's handling. You saw McMurray able to move up there and hold off Truex, who was running the bottom.
That's one unique thing about this track. You'll always see the cars bottom out a little bit in 1 and 2 because the banking over there is steeper, and you get through there so much quicker. 3 and 4, it's very rough. It has less banking, so you just see the cars always bounce around and dance through 3 and 4. But if your car's money, you're going to be fast in 3 and 4 like Kane. Whoop, there it is.
Whoa!
Caught that cushion the wrong way, as you would say in the dirt track.
Kane in that 38 car, and he loves the high side, the high groove. He or Michael Waltrip, one that we always talk about it, but they're up there faster than anyone.
Might not work out for him in that corner, though. Mike Bliss diving underneath right behind him. Championship contender Kyle Busch in the 5.
A.K.A. Patrick. Looking pretty good.
It's the character from the movie that's on his hood, right?
Right on the bottom, yeah. We got Patrick and then got SpongeBob right behind him, so the two are teaming up.
We're on board with SpongeBob. Jimmy Johnson, the driver.
Notice here through 1 and 2, you see the sparks flying. Sometimes you get such a good fight through the middle of 1 and 2. You stand on the gas way early, and it just gives you a nice launch out of 2, and your car will drag a little bit. Truck arm mounts, or even the side skirts.
By the way, that was Jason Keller just coming off the pit lane when the leaders went steaming by there in the picture a minute ago. A couple of pit stops for Keller. How about Kyle Busch, Dave?
Guys, we're talking about those restarts and spinning tires. The only real conversation under caution that Kyle had with crew chief Lance McGrew was about cold tires, and Lance just reminded him, make sure there's heat in them before you get started.
Casey Kane, we saw him just a moment ago on the high side trying to make some passes, but He is falling back in the clutches of Kyle Busch in 5. And meanwhile, here we see the Mike Bliss car on the inside of Blake Feast.
A little shuffling going on in that Group BP.
Yeah, Feast, the 00 car, is really doing a good job. He realizes that he's in some very fast race cars, fast company, and he's trying to run as fast as he can and yet not get himself in trouble.
How about Blake Feast, Matty?
During that caution, Booty Barker was telling Blake, he says, look, you are doing exactly what we need to do tonight. Just get yourself in line. Let's log some laps. He did tell Booty the car was a little free at the beginning of that first run.
5th NASCAR Busch Series race this season for Blake Feast, a 22-year-old out of Saybrook, Illinois. Another one of those drivers in the Hendrick Development Program.
It's the second race in the 00, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was with you, BP.
Okay, gotcha.
Cars off. Watch for those spinning tires we talked about on restarts. Didn't see any big wigglers there.
Yeah, not too bad. It was pretty quiet.
Truex in the 8th. NASCAR Busch Series Championship leader. His title rival Kyle Busch runs in 7th place right now. This is a track where Martin Truex has not enjoyed success. His best finish 14th here. And Kyle on the move.
Jimmy Johnson going as well in the 48 car.
Getting by Kenseth. Kenseth's car, they said last time it was just starting to come in before that yellow, and that was lap 38 or so. So he has probably a loose race car to start off a run. Then it gets better and better, as Kenseth always does.
So Kyle Busch to 6th place. Matt Kenseth back to 7th. Dave Blaney challenging him there. Blaney in the white 82 on the inside lane.
Charging forward. Looks like the 82 and 21 are good on the short runs, as well as the SpongeBob Patrick duo. But we'll see. It's starting to transition now. The cars that qualified well, and then here's some of the cars from the back are moving forward.
Yeah, talk about moving forward from the back. Michael Waltrip started 34th, Matt. He's up just outside the top 10.
They made a shock change right near the end of practice, and Michael really didn't get a chance to really feel it out. That's why he felt like he had such a poor qualifying effort, but the team's concerned now. Look at the right front headlight cover area. There's some cosmetic damage. They asked Michael, how is the race car doing? He says, the car feels great. They said, we can't believe it's not pushing because you've got some damage there. The team is trying to get a really good look at it to see exactly how big of a piece of aluminum they're going to have to cut to try to fix that on their next stop.
It looked like a pretty significant hole.
Yeah, it's a little tough to see because of the dark paint job on the car in that part, but it is definitely wrinkled back. Huh?
That's Sterling Marlin in the 1 car. There we go, trying to get by Jamie McMurray in 6-6. Battle for the lead. Here comes the 41 car. Casey Mears on the outside of Martin Truex.
Just drove it into 3, and it's stuck right through the center. Here comes Gordon following suit. Gordon changed it. That was close. It didn't look like it was clear low, but he made it in front of the Truex car.
So for Truex, he's collected 5 bonus points for leading laps. Good for him.
That's key.
And for Casey Mears, he led the first 39 laps of the race before they made the pit stops. And he got beaten off pit road by Truex's crew. So obviously a very fast race car still.
Hey, Dave, something wrong with the 8, or he just kind of running around the racetrack right now?
He did talk to his crew during that last caution, Benny, and he told them, I'm having trouble getting down into turn 3. I can get good on the throttle. I'm good when I hit the gas, but I just can't get into 3. And notice they passed him coming off 4 and down the straightaway.
I got you. Yeah, when he backed off to go in 3, they drove up on the outside of him.
So Truex back to 3rd spot. Here's Jimmy Johnson working on Mike Bliss. Bliss in the 20. In 4th place, driving for Joe Gibbs. And driving for his future. Mike not really knowing where he's going to be racing next year. Talk with him this afternoon. How about Jimmy Johnson, Matt?
Says the car is great, Alan. In fact, tonight is a huge family affair for the Johnson family. Brother Jesse doing a special radio broadcast just for kids. In fact, he even had to go to Jimmy's PR representative to set up an interview for the pre-race segment. Just like any other broadcaster, he's high atop the stands calling tonight's race and watching his brother run in the top 5.
Just another textbook move by Jimmy Johnson. He's able to keep the car right on the white line through 3 and 4, and just time to throttle right, where he was able to pull up underneath that 20 car. And we'll see if Kyle's able to follow suit. It looked like he was running a bit higher, but if he can put it right on that white line and wait for the 20 to slide up, that's what he learned from last time, I guess.
Didn't move up that time, did he?
Nope.
And open that door. Dave, how about the 5? What's he saying, Kyle Busch?
Kurt's younger brother's car was a little bit tight on that last run. Last time they pitted, it was about a 3 out of 10 tight, according to Kyle. They made a track bar adjustment to fix that, and Kyle's moved forward. Marty?
Mike Bliss, the man in front of him in the 5th position, is running pretty well, a little bit loose. He said it feels like it's abusing the right rear tire, worried about it leaning on the right rear tire coming off of the corners. They made a wet adjustment on the last stop. Mike said it's loose, but it's fast.
So Mike Bliss hanging in 5th place. Let's drop farther back and pick up a side-by-side race. This is for, what, about 23rd place. Jimmy Spencer and Blake Feast.
Oh, Casey Kane.
Wow.
Heavy contact in the 38 car. That wasn't a clip. That was a full-blown haircut there, wasn't it?
He got his wig
right
smoked.
in front is broken power out or something for sure right now.
In other words, he can't steer the thing.
Try to work his way down into the garage area. That was a tough hit.
So caution flag is out, and Casey Kane with a pretty good pop. He had a crash here in the May race as well that ended his day when he was running pretty competitively.
You see the right front tire is not working at all.
What we have of the crash, top of the screen, there he is.
We see the big black mark back between the middle of 1 and 2. There's a brake rotor flying around on the racetrack, and all of a sudden,
Oh boy,
something broke on the right front.
Yeah, that tire went down or something broke on the right front.
Now watch, you're going to see a piece of brake rotor about there going down the racetrack. Remember last week Mark Martin flattened 2 right side tires on a piece of brake rotor.
I've been in that same boat here at Charlotte as well. There's sometimes when you hit the wall that the impact is so severe that it knocks those brake rotors out. I've run one over, gotten a flat tire.
one of those kind of nights the race sponsor really enjoys. It's the SpongeBob SquarePants Movie 300 at Lowe's Motor Speedway Charlotte, and the 2 cars carrying the SpongeBob SquarePants paint schemes are now running 1 and 2.
SpongeBob Patrick.
And Patrick's going for the lead.
Going for his 5 points.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too when I saw Jimmy. It kind of looked like a wave by to me. So Kyle Busch passing Mike Bliss during the commercial break for second. Now he's out in front and collecting there. 5 bonus points for leading a lap in his bid for the Busch Series Championship. Uh-oh.
Bad news for Wally.
It is not running.
Taking the helmet off and pushing the car back to the garage. Means the engine has expired.
What we're getting from pit road is an oil pump failure. And so Wally, with just the 2 chances left to get that top 5 finish to keep from having to wash BP's car. Oh, it breaks your heart, Benny.
Oh, it does.
Here's a race for 4th place. Casey Mears continuing to slip back a little bit, and Matt Kenseth moving forward.
A car that we always see run good on long runs.
That's not a shock to that 17 go forward late in the run, is it?
That's my boy, Kenseth.
How about these numbers? The last 9 NASCAR Busch Series races at Charlotte, Matt Kenseth has been in. He's led. He has 6 top 5s in 12 career starts here. and he's won 2 of the last 4 Busch Series races here that he's been in. Pretty good.
Pretty stout. Not bad. Won the All-Star race here this summer, too.
Yep. All right, let's go through the field. Start with our leader just past halfway, Kyle Busch. Dave?
He passed his teammate Jimmy Johnson, but before doing so, they asked him, do you think we need to get a wave by? And Kyle said, nah, we'll just pass him. And he did. Matt?
Jimmy Johnson has won non-points Cup victory here, has a points-paying victory. Now would like to add a NASCAR Busch Series victory to his racing resume. He hasn't said anything about the race car, Marty, since the last stop.
Manny, a few weeks ago, Mike Bliss tested here, paying off right now. The car a little bit tight. He says we're killing the right rear, but we're very fast. 140 is when the 20 car should pit. Matt Kenseth suffering through that tight race car. I believe it's a little bit of anger to his crew as to why he's driving so well. Same car he won with at Texas. Very good all throughout practice yesterday. Good right now, too, Dave.
Martin Truex's crew tried to fix that tight into turn 3 situation with an air pressure adjustment on the last stop. The car now is loose going into the corner and tight the middle off. They may have hurt his off-the-corner run. Matt?
What a night Greg Biffle has had. He started at the back, pitted early, started at the back again. He's now made his way into the top 10. Says the car is a little on the tight side. They're talking about a track bar adjustment, Dave, for the next stop.
Matt, as I mentioned earlier, the 41 fighting a tight situation in traffic, but they're also tracking something they've been looking at since early in the race, a little vibration in the motor area. Nothing reported recently. Matt, back to you.
Robbie Gordon, the 55 car, lacking grip, both front and rear, just sliding the nose. They made a wedge and track bar adjustment and air pressure adjustment on that last stop. And Dave Blaney in the 82 car this week, best finish here at Lowe's, a third. He says the car a little on the tight side, but very good. He likes it on the tight side. Marty.
Matt, Bobby Labonte finished 9th in his last Busch Series race. That was at California. Right now, he's running 10th. A little too loose, says Bobby. He said he just can't arc it into the corner like he would like, but making steady progress in the field after you see starting 16th. Alan.
There are your top 10. 33 cars on the lead lap. Kyle Busch, the 8th different driver to lead the race tonight. He took the lead just past halfway and has moved out by 0.6 of a second on second place Jimmy Johnson. We keep going through the field. 11th place Kevin Harvick is Matt.
Harvick started the night in the 8th position, says he just can't get in the gas when he needs to. He feels like it's rolling over on the right front. He just can't arc it like he needs as well. Ricky Vyers, his crew chief, went only half the adjustments that they made on the first stop because they feel like they're going in the right direction. And also Clint Boyer, who will take over the 2 car next year. He's very pleased with his Kevin Harvick race car, same car that Tony Stewart scored a top 5 finish with here in the spring. A little on the tight side, Marty.
Matt, Kenny Wallace had a nice little run tonight. Currently, he's up in towards the top 10. His car is a little bit loose, and then it goes tight. Just like Kurt was saying, you got to start your car loose, and then it gets better the longer he runs. Behind him, Sterling Marlin started 31st, currently up close to the top 10. Loose going into 3, but good off the corner. Said, don't touch it too much. Very happy with the car, Dave.
Marty, Ron Hornaday is losing spots. He lost 2 on that last lap. His car is very, very tight. It was loose at the beginning of this race. They've gone just a little bit too far on their adjustments. Marty, back at you.
Dave, the last adjustment for David Green didn't work out too well. He said it hasn't helped that much. Car still loose in for David. He runs very well at this racetrack. 2 top 10s in his last 4 Charlotte starts. Dave?
25 car of Mike McLaughlin as he goes down to the inside of David Green. His biggest complaint all night is that the motor is sluggish. The handling has been fine, but a little trouble on the power plant. Matt?
Jamie McMurray, his 4th start in Rusty Wallace's number 66 car, says the car is back on the tight side, but boy, it sure does have a motor. They made an air pressure adjustment out of both left side tires, Marty.
Matt, the 11th ever stock car race for Aaron Feiken, doing a pretty good job. Car is tight from the center off, and it gets better the longer he runs. He's fairly happy with it. So he's kind of skating on top of the racetrack in 19th right now, Matty.
Rounding out the top 20 is Michael Waltrip in the 99 car. He's had a tough night, still has that cosmetic damage to that right front. In fact, he says maybe we should have fixed that on that last stop. Alec?
So there you go, the top 20. Just past the midway point of the race with Kyle Busch out in front, trying to gain maximum points on the night if he can in his pursuit of the NASCAR Busch Series Championship. 3/4 of the way through the SpongeBob SquarePants Movie 300. SpongeBob characters greeting the drivers, including pole sitter Casey Mears on stage before we cut him loose under green.
Jason Keller on lap 4 loses it off turn 2. Almost saves it, but not quite in the inside retaining wall.
First of 8 caution flags we've had in the race so far tonight. Lap 37, second yellow. This was a race for the lead.
Joe Nemechek, 88, loses control, hard contact. He is out for the night.
Race off pit road was interesting under the yellow. Truex edging Casey Mears to get some bonus points for leading a few laps. We move ahead to the third caution flag.
A little bit of help from behind.
Yeah, 87 car, Boston Reed gets tapped by Tim Fedor in 12, and around he goes.
Reed has continued in the race. Now, Jimmy Johnson moved up through the pack from his 20th starting spot, took the lead from Robbie Gordon. Out in front until his teammate, Kyle Busch, went by just past halfway.
Bunch of characters they are.
Yeah. Then some troubles on a pit stop for Kyle. Little trouble getting away from his pit box. Lost the lead on that exchange of visits to pit road. Casey Mears gave up a top 5 spot under green.
Flat right front tire.
And we had contact. 46, Ashton Lewis just out on the bummer end of that deal.
And a big moment championship-wise. Race off pit road. Kyle Busch runs up into the back of Mike Bliss when the stop sign was up at the end of pit road. Had to come back in for repairs. Went back to 26th place. He's worked his way back to 20th now. And then this most recent caution that's caused so much cleanup. Oil, debris, bits, pieces from David Stremmy's transmission. And finally, we're just about through with the cleanup. 48 to go, and the green flag's back up.
Good restart for McMurray. He waited till after the start-finish line.
Man, did he ever gets by the 33 of Clint Boyer and tried to go by McLaughlin in the 25.
Now Kevin Harvick racing a car that he owns. Harvick and Richard Childress is 21, and that 33 is a car that he owns. Clint Boyer.
Jimmy Johnson, 48, trying to go by the 60 of Biffle and Boyer.
And that's a huge pass if he makes it, because those two may be the fastest cars on the track.
That's why they're racing one another pretty hard. On the outside, it's tough to stick in 1 and 2, but Biffle manhandled that car through the corner. Let's see if the 48 can get a run. Definitely got to run down the straightaway, and there they go. This is what makes this track so great, is you're able to race on both ends. Biffle just skimming across the top of those bumps.
Right now, this is for 6th place.
We got a crash. Got Aaron Fike in the 43 car. Pretty heavy contact.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man. On the hood of the car is Leanne Rhymes, so he did not treat her nicely. There's the restart line right there. All right, nail it.
Matt Kenseth, Mike McLaughlin, Jamie McMurray, Kevin Harvick, Clint Boyer, the top 5. Jimmy Johnson quickly on the move.
I think Clint Boyer in the 33 car missed the shift or didn't do it cleanly because he stumbled just past the start-finish line.
Struggled on the restart last time. Harvick was able to squeak by him.
Here we go.
Google the cars back here.
Mike Bliss trying to get around Kenny Wallace up front. Jamie McMurray, Kevin Harvick. 3rd and 4th place. Harvick trying to get it away from McMurray, and he does.
On the move. That car runs at the beginning of a run.
Biffle gets by the 33. Now we see the Michael Waltrip, the 99 car, gets by Kenny Wallace.
Looked like Kenny got a little turnaround shuffle there.
Looks like Blaney's going to try to get by him, the 82 car.
Oh, I just heard a rev chip. That's
So did
odd.
I.
Getting into turn 3, it is go time. There's 37 laps to go. Everybody can make it on fuel. It's time to gain some positions.
2nd place, Harvick now working on Mike McLaughlin. Harvick in the 21, McLaughlin in the 25. McLaughlin got some track position up the front when they did not pit under that caution a little bit earlier, but he's held on to it. How about the 25 car, Dave?
and they knew they were, we mentioned that sluggish motor a little earlier, so a little down on horsepower perhaps, just holding his line, trying to maintain positions, and Mike McLaughlin has done a great job since taking over this ride some 5 races ago actually. A second place at Dover and 11th in California and Kansas, and running well again here tonight. Matt?
Dave, Kevin Harvick working all over the back of the 25 car. They have made significant adjustments every stop tonight. The car has been free. Ricky Vyers says they just keep making small gains. Harvick has never won here. His best finish actually came here in May when he finished 3rd.
Hey, Matt, tell Ricky Vyers tonight he's the ball.
You got it, BP.
I'll let you know the joke, a conversation going back a couple of years where Ricky asked about how you get your car on TV, and then he said, be the ball. Be what's happening on the racetrack. Be the ball. They're on the ball tonight.
They are.
Is that what happened when I bounced off turn 4? I was the ball?
You were the ball at that moment.
Gotcha.
And right at this moment, your younger brother's the ball.
Look at that.
As Kyle tries to come back up through the traffic.
That's 15th. He just moved by Hornaday for as Bobby Labonte in the back of the car pulls in behind Hornaday.
Well, Patrick's on the move, trying to cover up the little mistake, move forward. He's got a little bit of time, and Truex is running 9th right now, so there is a little bit of a loss in points. But Kyle's on the move.
Oh, trouble!
Look out.
Labonte gets...
Benoit, Mike Wallace.
I'm sorry, I said the Bobby Labonte. That was Tim Feeder. My bad.
Oh, boy. He got the inside wall, didn't he?
Looks like it. Finally turned the engine up. You see the engine.
I'd say he's a little hot inside the race car.
I'll go to the garage.
That's too bad.
So this would be caution number 10 in this race. Still a couple away from the record, by the way.
He had such a great start to it.
I know.
Flat left sides there on Mike Wallace.
Yeah, caused by the spin.
Look at the smoke still hanging in the air. Okay, BP, do your thing.
Kurt, let's see. We see the contact there between Jimmy Spencer in 74 and Feedaway in 12. And Feedaway just nails the gas trying to get the car to spin around. But what it did was drive straight down into the inside wall.
Ended up running into the inside wall, and whether Wallace had help or not, I'm sure he did. He was just trying to avoid the circumstance. And there we have Spencer into the 12. Justin Labonte's able to squeak by, as well as 47. I know this. Robert Presley and Blake Fleet.
Oh, that's who we ran
There it
into.
is.
The
Okay.
14 car of Casey Atwood. Wasn't the inside wall.
That's his teammate, isn't it?
Yep.
Unfortunate.
Double damage. Pace cars off. Here we go. Matt Kenseth, Mike McLaughlin, Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick, Jamie McMurray.
You ready? Green flag.
Good restart again for Kenseth.
Sure was.
Outside, Jimmy Johnson for second place on McLaughlin.
Definitely a bold move. He knows he's got to go. And at 25, they say he's been struggling on power, so they took advantage of that. And here comes Harvick.
Oh, a little bump there.
That was so close.
Outside, inside, a little bit more of a nudge.
Man, oh man.
He just had to back off. He was way too close going into the corner.
So now it's Jimmy Johnson trying to track down Matt Kenseth for the race lead. Marty?
And on the radio, Matt said, I see him. Just leave me alone for a little while. Don't interrupt me on the radio.
He knows he's got a big job to hold that 48 off.
SpongeBob is moving.
Tell you what.
Matt's driving for all he's worth, right?
He's on the wheel. That's right. When you see all those sparks flying this late in the race, he is on the wheel.
When you're out there racing and the guy in front of you bottoms out like that and throws all the sparks in the air, does it ever startle you, or are you used to it enough by now?
Used to it enough by now. Really, it doesn't affect you much The smoke still, though, that when somebody has a tire rub, you always think that there's oil, and so you check up just a little bit.
26 laps to go.
Kenseth was quicker that time, though.
Johnson trying to track him down, Matt.
Alan, Jimmy Johnson trying for his second Busch win, but he's also trying a little bit different engine package. 7 a.m. tomorrow, Howard Shipwash, the engine tuner for Kurt's brother Kyle, will be back at the shop, taking the valve covers off, taking a look at this engine. If all looks good, they are going to take the primary and backup engines out of the cars that are ready to go to Memphis, put this package in and run this package for the rest of the year, trying to win that Busch Series title and trying to win that car owners championship for owner Rick Hendrick.
A little bit more horsepower, huh?
Driver's best dream.
Kyle Busch trying to pick up another spot. This is 12th place he's working on Clint Boyer for. Kyle in the 5.
Oh, Boyer got a run on the outside. How about that?
How about that? We see
me out on
Bliss.
that one.
And Michael Waltrip trying to go to the inside of the 99. And look at that 48 go.
48-17 for the lead.
Kenseth trying to stay with him. Johnson trying to power by on the outside.
Wow.
Great racing.
What a terrific battle we got going. And here comes Bliss to make it 3 wide.
Woo! Oh, that's tight.
It is 3 wide for the lead. Who's going to back out?
Mike Bliss to the front with a 3 wide move off of turn 4. How about that?
That was impressive.
Wow!
Saw those 2 guys racing up ahead of him, and that just brings the 20 car right up to the front.
Man, oh man.
Johnson trying to squeeze in front of Kenseth for second and see if he can set off in pursuit of Mike Bliss.
Well, here comes Kenseth back on the outside.
Makes it stick, gets that momentum run off of turn 4, and will race down into 1 and 2.
And Michael Waltrip, I think if he can get by these guys, he might be fast enough to chase down Bliss.
We know the 17's good on long runs, but he's hanging in there pretty tough. Here comes the 99 in the mix.
And this is what Mike Bliss wants to see. He wants to see these guys occupied racing each other.
Definitely. A 48 is just not shaking out like we thought he would. But he's on the inside lane, though, and that's what it's tough at Charlotte. You get pinched down. You get that guy on the outside that carries that momentum, and you get pinched down a little bit.
Waltrip still hanging outside of Johnson for third.
Man, Jimmy Johnson barely lifted up in 3 and 4.
Such a great racetrack. Side by side. This time by, Bliss is, oh no, Kenseth was quicker that time, so we might be able to reel him back in. These 2 are racing for third.
Oh, Johnson squeezed in front of him there.
Finally got him. But look at all of that distance, BP, that he lost from those leaders racing side by side.
2.5 to make up for Jimmy Johnson, and now 2 drivers to pass if he's going to win this race.
Oh, trouble up turn 4.
Dave Blaney.
I think that Kyle got in the back of the 82 car up in 3 and 4, Kurt.
Uh-oh.
Might have damage to that 5 car.
McLaughlin struggled on the restart again.
Looks like he broke something. Something happened to the 25 car. And Michael Waltrip, the 99, did not get a good. Dave, what happened to 25, you know?
Mike reported in definitely missed shift.
Oh, man.
That's not any good. We've got Biff on the outside of Harvick now for position.
5th place there. Biffle able to hold him off. Actually, Biffle able to pick up the spot on Kevin Harvick. Up front, Bliss with a car length or two on Matt Kenseth. Jimmy Johnson not able to stay closed up on this restart. And now 10 laps to go.
10 laps is just the right amount of time for Kenseth, I believe. Bliss has had a strong car. You put him up front, he'll go.
Kyle Busch, the 5 car, gets by McMurray at 66.
Up to 8th. Truex just ahead of him. Remember Kyle with the right front fender damage and the jam up on pit road with 64 laps to go and all the way back to 26th place and has rallied up through the traffic. 149 was the difference between the two starting the race. Like I said, even though the point damage will be minimal from that pit road incident, problem is now there's only going to be 5 races to go in the season after this.
There's Truex looking to hunt down Harvick. And last time by, it looked like Kenseth was just slightly slower. Too hard to even tell.
Yeah, I think he's going to be much faster this time. It looks like he has gained on Bliss. Let's see.
Definitely.
Just a little bit he gained, so making some progress, but he's run out of laps.
Got a little bit extra tape on the nose. A little piece of debris.
That's good.
That always helps.
I will say this, Kenseth is going to have to work hard to get around Mike Bliss because that is a determined young man.
It is. He is. And what I've seen, though, as of late with these cars, whether it's in the Cup Series and Busch Series, you get a car that's quicker in second place or whatever position it might be, and you catch somebody in front of you, you stick your nose right to the inside, right behind them, that front car does get loose. And it really takes a driver that is determined to stay out in front. So we'll see what Kenseth has.
Where are you going to be? Right on the left rear?
And he's got some damage there on the left rear, so Kenseth can get even closer if he wanted. These cars have gotten loose when you run them this hard, this close to one another.
Doesn't look like Jimmy Johnson's a factor for now, unless these two get side by side and Johnson can close up quickly. Less than 6 laps to go. 1 car length between them.
Just inching up towards him, isn't he, BP?
Yes, he's good. Oh! Blake Feast has hit the wall up between 1 and 2. No caution yet.
Well, staying under green. 5 to go.
He's now in that zone of a little bit of aero tightness behind him. This is definitely a race.
Oh, man, that was close. That was close between 8 and 5.
Kyle just needs to back it down a little bit. He does have a quicker car. And he's not going to gain many points tonight running that hard. Uh-oh.
I think Truex is going to let him go.
He got loose coming out of the 2.
Truex's left rear tire's flat. No, maybe not. He was acting like down the backstretch he had a flat tire.
4 to go. Bliss looks like just tacked another car length onto his advantage over Matt Kenseth. He's hanging on.
He was a little bit quicker than Kenseth that last lap. Not much, but a little.
And by the way, Truex is up to speed, so everything's looking good on the 8 car.
That was wrong. He's sure testing that car out down the backstretch. Meanwhile, here comes Kenseth.
He's running a little different line than he has been the past couple laps.
Uh-oh. Mike Waltrip off the pace, Dave.
Actually, I was going to tell you, between the 5 and the 8, they both pointed fingers at each other, and both crew chiefs told him to settle down and finish the race.
All right, we'll check what's happened to Michael here in a second. Mike Bliss with 3 NASCAR Busch Series starts here at Lowe's Motor Speedway. He's finished in the top 5 in 2 of them, a 5th and a 3rd place.
Here comes Kenseth getting that Kenseth high line going.
He waited, he didn't show his hand until 2 laps to go.
He is impressive. It's got to stick to 1 and 2 now.
Clear, clear.
Looking low, trying to rattle him. Michael Waltrip, flat tire is his problem. That's why he's off the pace.
Just didn't get the run through 1 and 2 that he needed. We'll try again, 3 and 4. Kenseth's going to go up high. Get to build that momentum. Oh, that was a
man, did he get a run off that corner.
White flag. 1 more lap. Steve Addington looking on to see if his driver can hang on and keep Matt Kenseth behind him. A hometown race before family and friends all looking on. Bliss trying to get his first NASCAR Busch Series win with the champion Kenseth behind him applying the pressure.
Bliss has done a phenomenal job. He got the lead and did not relinquish.
Final corner for Mike Bliss. A third to first move with 18 laps to go is going to pay off. Mike Bliss gets his first NASCAR Busch Series win.
Good show, good show.
Passes two of the best in the business to do it, Kenseth and Johnson, and in his 70th try, Mike Bliss adds his name to the list of winners in NASCAR's Busch Series.
And Mike has just climbed out of the car to the cheers of his crew and a big hug from members of Joe Gibbs Racing and his crew chief Steve Addington. And Mike, I know things are a little up in the air as far as what you're going to do next year. Have some more product on you. There you go. But this has to mean a ton to you as far as that goes and in your career overall.
You know, I love these guys. I don't want to go nowhere. I love these guys. I love Rockwell Automation. I mean, Dodge Reliance. These guys here all in the car, they don't get no recognition. Rockwell Software, Alan Bradley, Dodge, DVT, and I got to say a big congratulations to our good friend back home. They had a baby girl, and says it right there. And AG, this is for you, Mike, for your baby girl.
On lap 181, you decided to go for the lead. There were two cars in the way. You made it 3 wide. Talk about that.
We worked on it all night, and I just. I didn't care about 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. I didn't care. I wanted to win this race at home. These guys deserve it. I wanted to win, and I just drove my heart out. And I do every weekend, but this meant a lot. And I just want to thank everybody at Rockwell Automation for giving me this chance. And they deserve more wins than just this one. And I can't. This is a different car than what we were running all year. And the guys back at the Fab Shop, you guys did a hell of a job on this car. And I hope that was the right word I could say. I apologize if it wasn't, but. I'll pay the fine, but Mark Conquest for the motors, awesome motors. Just all these guys right here deserve this win.
Here's how they ran tonight here in Charlotte. Bliss over Kenseth and Johnson. Greg Biffle from the back of the pack at the start of the race up to 4th. And Kyle Busch with the rally from 26th to 5th. Truex with a good points night in 6th.
Casey Mears finished 7th after having that tire problem.
Rockland goes back to 12th spot. Missing that shift on the restart.
All these guys on the lead lap back through 20th place. And Jimmy Spencer, last car on the lead lap. Michael Walsh wound up a lap down in 23rd after the late flat tire. A lot of guys failed to finish this one. 16 cars out of the race by the time the checkered flag waved.
A lot of crashes tonight at the Lowe's Motor Speedway.
And Wally.
Poor Wally.
Oil pump failure and did not finish. Joe Nemechek crashed racing for the lead early in the race with Casey Mears. And the championship standings now with 5 races to go.